Chris, thanks. A potential civil suit is in the works against the Lafayette Police Department after a family says they were wrongfully accused and detained at their home.
News 10's Scott Price speaks with the attorney who is representing the family on their next steps in a story you'll see only on 10.
At 9:56 Saturday night, officers bring one woman out of the home. At the same time, a man tells police in the driveway his wife and kids are in the home. Officers tell him to put his hands up.
My wife and kids in there. That's the only I can do. He's walking towards me. Hands up.
Minutes later, officers with drawn guns and a K-9 officer approach the front door.
Attention, Lafayette Police K-9, come on, identify yourself or I'll send my dog, you will bite you.
After half an hour, an officer explains to a resident of the home what was happening.
Like I said, we're in an investigation, in the middle of an investigation, trying to figure out what exactly was going on. From what we knew, there was a suspect inside the house.
The family says they never found their suspect. They were then let go and able to go about their night as they were before police arrived. News 10 spoke with attorney Daryl Washington, who says this was a terrifying situation for the family.
This is not something that you can just say, oops, I apologize, I made a mistake. This is something where you actually traumatize the family for no lawful reason at all.
He says during the situation, officers did not give the family the benefit of the doubt by asking them questions on where the suspect could be.
You can see just right off that these officers either like the compassion or they like training. And when I look at it, I think it's a combination of both, because all they had to do is simply just answer some simple questions, and they could have gotten the answers.
Washington says the officers did not take into account that the family could have gotten hurt or worse.
These officers just totally disregarded. He told them that they needed to handle him in a certain manner, and they just totally refused this. You heard officers making threats to the family if they wouldn't do certain things, that they would actually let a dog come in and attack them.
Washington says the officers need to be held accountable for their actions.
They need to own up to what they did was wrong. I think they need to come out and not try to justify what these police officers did. I think they need to look at the actions of these police officers. And I do believe in a situation like this, these police officers need to be disciplined.
News 10 did reach out to the Lafayette Police Department for comment. We were told the department cannot comment because of the pending lawsuit.
All right, people, greetings. Welcome to another edition of the Community Defender TV talk show here on AOC Community Media. I want to thank Brother Darrell Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, who he's dedicated the show to, for giving me the opportunity and the privilege to be in the seat of one of the most dynamic and insightful talk shows over the last 20-some plus years, produced by Sister Khadijah. I really appreciate of all the seats, to sit in this seat of Brother Darrell Muhammad tonight. We are now coming from our Digital Soul Studios, Digital Soul Media Studios. So in case you see a little difference in the background and stuff like that. So we appreciate that. Stay tuned for more and bigger things to come from Digital Soul Media as we help enhance the community with different promotions of different shows that we have here on AOC Community Media. Again, thank Brother Darrell Muhammad and Sister Khadijah and Brother Shahid for all the great work they do to keep this show going for so many years. I want to say so much is going on in South Louisiana, and we're going to try to keep it in the tradition of the Community Defender TV talk show. Today, Sister Khadijah, the producer, announcement that we have a three-minute limit on phone calls. And please hold your calls until we say we open in the line. So we just want to be fair to everybody to have a great opportunity to view and talk about the things that's going on in South Louisiana. I want to say we want to send our deepest condolences to the family of Mr. Anthony Tony Navarre, who passed away on, I think, November the 11th at the age of 83. Now, Mr. Navarre was a pioneer with law enforcement within the city of Lafayette and parts of the state. I think he was held other titles in law enforcement. So the thing I would say, Brother Anthony appeared on our TV show in his later years. He was also a part of AOC. He did a couple of seasons on AOC community when he retired from law enforcement. So he is a part of the AOC family. But better still, he appeared on our radio show on 88.3 KIEE FM a number of times and gave a couple of contributions to what was going on in the Lafayette area. So we want to send our deepest condolences to the family of Anthony Tony Navarre, 83, a pioneer in law enforcement in the Lafayette area. Okay? I think his services are at, you could get further information on his obituary at Walter's Funeral Home. Walter's Funeral Home has his obituary, so in case anybody is interested. Also, I want to bring up this right here, this young lady right here from St. Mary Parish. She was basically involved in an automobile accident with a suspected drunk driver. She was an all-star basketball player at St. Mary High School, West St. Mary High School. Let's see, I'm gonna pull up her name right here. I think we have her name. Her name is Galen Brown. She's just 18 of Generate, had a whole life ahead of her, a whole career ahead of us, and she was taken untimely this past weekend by a drunk driver. We want to send our deepest condolences to her family in Generate, and also a neighbor lady of mine who that is her niece. We definitely want to send the condolences, and people drinking and driving don't make state of Louisiana. You get me started on them. They promote a whole lot of that stuff. Let me get this phone call, and she is basically the boss, so I know I know she violating her own whole law phone call. Please go ahead, sister.
Yes, again, my deepest sympathy to the family of Mr. Navarre, and of course to the family of Ms. Brown that was also killed.
Yeah.
By a drunk driver. I wanted to say that Mr. Navarre, he was one of the first of a lot of accomplishments that he's done, and from the police department to just being an all-around activist. He was on Janelle's show numerous years, and he definitely is going to be missed. And to the family and to all of those that knew him, we know that even though he's with the ancestors as we speak, that he was one of the best that the world has to offer, and to keep the family in our prayers, to keep the families in our prayers.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Brother Jay.
All right. Thank you, Sister Khadijah. You might get if you we could find the archives of the show when Anthony came in and Sister Khadijah was hosting the show on 88.3. You could see all the energy that we had in the studio. You know, we had some notables, you know, and people who I have not known personally over the years, but I've grown to known in later years as I started doing the talk shows. One of them was Mr. Louis Benjamin. Also, we like to find out his status and have him on soon if we can. So we have notables on, and Anthony Navarre was again a pioneer in law enforcement here in the city of Lafayette, Louisiana. I want to bring up some other things that were going on. We had another guest that came from Alexandria, Louisiana. Appeared on the Open Line radio show on KIEE 88.3 FM, Alexandria City council member. He was on the Alexandria City Council member a number of times. He known a couple of the elected officials in Lafayette, but he's from Alexandria. He came on our show on 88.3 FM, all the way to that would be your, if you're facing your TV, your left in the blue shirt, that's Mr. Joe Fuller, Alexandria, Louisiana City Council, along with Mr. John Freeman, CEO of 88.3 FM, and our good sister co-host, Sister Rashonda, and we have Brother Tavares, who also is a community activist out of Alexandria, and Sister Salita McCall, another good activist friend of ours and radio host out there in Alexandria, Louisiana, and none other than Sister Khadijah at the helm in our studio that we had over there at 88.3 FM. So we got a lot of notable people passing on. So Mr. Joe Fuller, all the way to, if you're facing your television, your left in the blue shirt, he passed away, also a former Alexandria City Council official. So many things are going on. But I want to say some good news. I want people to tune in this coming Wednesday on the Open Line on AOC Community Media, the Open Line radio show. Also, we hopefully will be in the studio of 88.3 because we do our shows from different locations, but we're always on AOC most of the time on Wednesday from 9 to 11. We will have an exclusive interview with a new book publisher. I mean, she's not a new book publisher, but it's a new book that just been published about Queen Mother Moore. Everybody know Queen Mother Moore is from our hometown. Sister Khadijah and I of New Iberia. We giving away our location, Sister Khadijah. Hometown of New Iberia. Proud to be from the same area where Queen Mother Moore comes from, and went on to bigger and better things. Queen Mother Moore, a well-known activist from back in the day, way back in the day. A lot of this information about Queen Mother Moore, our young people do not know. She served alongside the Honorable Marcus Garvey, and she went on to become well-known in the activist community as a person who pushed for reparation also. A book author, Ashley D. Former, the sister you see in the pink at the bottom, she will be our special guest on the Open Line radio show. So we have that exclusive, hoping to get her down here to the South Louisiana area where she can do a book signing, a book that's been taken off all over the place about our dearest heroine, Sister Queen Mother Moore, in the spirit of Sister Khadijah molds herself, I guess, Queen Mother Moore. It's an excellent book, an excellent read. And I heard about this sister when I listened to Brother Tavis Smiley, friend of Tavis Smiley. I listened to the show, and she was on, and I got the contact number and contacted her, and she agreed to come on, give us a little time down here on our radio show and TV show here in South Louisiana. So people stay tuned this coming Wednesday. Queen Mother Moore, new book out by Professor Dr. Ashley D. Former, a university professor from, I think, University of Austin in Texas. Again, stay tuned this coming Tuesday. The number to call, if you want to call in, area code 337-272-8849. I'm sitting in for Brother Darrell Muhammad tonight, and our topic tonight, the fight is eternal. As you saw in the opening of the video concerning the law enforcement here in the city of Lafayette, and we got on the case our good brother, Attorney Washington, who hails from this area, but he practiced in Dallas, and I'm glad he's on the case. If anybody gonna get some justice, it will be him. Attorney Darrell Washington is on the case of the issue with the Lafayette PD officers making the couple get out of the house and basically demeaning them with that doggone run around them and so forth, and threatening them and all of that stuff. I want to play another clip, a clip that you will find very, very interesting, and it's concerning what happened at a football game. A lot of sports been talked about, LSU been talked about, and there was a big game in Texas, Texas A&M versus South Carolina. And there was an incident that happened, and I want to just let you listen to one of the sports pundits, a good brother, and he had some good information on what happened, and we're going to see what you decide what is the situation that should happen to that law enforcement person who basically insulted the football players. Let me get the screen down, and we'll come right back to it.
What happened at the Texas A&M South Carolina football game is unacceptable for an officer who is there to protect everyone in the stadium to walk toward those young players with that level of aggression, that level of intention, that level of purpose, and that purpose being nothing for good is something that just can't happen. And now, if you are these young men's parents, this is worst case scenario for you. This is something you've coached your kids through. You've told them how to behave. You told them what to say. You've told them how to look. And you've told them all of these things just to stay alive. And so now in this situation, someone who is in that stadium to protect them is the aggressor. And here's my biggest problem with the whole thing. There was 100,000 people in the stands. There were two entire football teams on the field, and there were millions of people watching on TV. So what kind of decisions does this officer make when no one is watching, when there are no immediate consequences? And thank God that Texas A&M acted extremely quickly to at least try to rectify the situation so everyone on that football field and in those stands could feel safe. But this is a cautionary tale. This is a warning. There are those people that feel so entitled and so empowered and have that level of audacity and also intoxication on power that they believe that they're above the law. It's not just about protecting those young men on the field, which is something we have to do. It's about protecting those young people in these streets, in these schools, that just walk around in everyday life from those who don't understand the power of the badge and the responsibility of it. Thank God today worked out the way it did and we got a great SEC battle. But not every young man is so lucky.
There you have it, people. You heard it straight from the good brother right there. That was really uncalled for what the officer did. I saw the game, part of the game, and when I saw the clip, I said, wow, this supremacy thing is really taking hold, and even the top athletes are not immune from the effect of what's going on with supremacy all over the place. It's off the chain. So again, like the titles say, the fight is eternal. Now, the question is, people, will we continue to keep fighting, or we could continue to have the same results? You know, I'm sitting here in for Brother Darrell Muhammad. Feel free to call if you want to call, 337-272-8849. I'm not as engaging and insightful as Brother Darrell, but I certainly let you speak your mind if you have an opinion. I want to play another clip. Well, no, let me read this part right here. I saw where in Louisiana Illuminator, there's an article about, since we're on the criminal justice tip, an exonerated prison lawyer wins the Orleans clerk of court election. Wow. You see, sometimes you have some miracles. The fight is eternal, people. Calvin Duncan faced threats of legal action from, that's what they do. Let me stop it right here. We got a group of people, supremacist people, who now say, much like I experienced when playing against a group of individuals in the city park and who want to take their ball and go home when the other side is winning. Let's take this phone call. Caller, welcome to Community Defender TV show.
Good evening, good brother. thank you so much for holding it down tonight. I definitely appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
And I appreciate the patience of our beloved producer, Sister Khadija.
Yes.
As I was looking at it, of course, I got caught up with a lot of different things, death in the family, all kind of stuff going
Yes, I'm
on.
sorry to hear
And
that.
as you know, life, as they say, life be life.
Yes.
Yes. But as I looked at that clip, and law enforcement, and of course, law and order, the law of white supremacy is what they enforce, and the order of black man on bottom, white man on top, that is the law and order that they are after. And it just so happens it was on camera. Mm-hmm. But as the brother said in the video, there are a lot of people on a dark street, on a back road that are not so lucky. Ronald Green wasn't so lucky.
Yes.
Alton Sterling wasn't so lucky. So, that's an important thing. Now, all over Louisiana, there are injustices going on. There are political and economic games being played. And of course, on yesterday, a lot of our black people woke up and voted down what Sid Edwards was trying to do here in Baton Rouge in terms of diverting money to plug a hole to give right back to the racism of the St. George formation in East Baton Rouge Parish. So people did stand up despite the fact that the Negro imps were sent out and came out in force to try to push it, yet the people did not fall for it and the measure failed. So we are waking up. And the struggle is eternal, or at least until we get what we call freedom, justice, and equality. Mm-hmm. Now, I wanted to mention something to you, and I don't want to go too long because I know Khadija is going to jump on me. So I just want to say this right quick. And that is, there is an event happening, and it's happening all over the country in 120 cities, Baton Rouge being one of them, a men's only meeting that starts at 7:30. At 2600 Plank Road, at 7:30, men's only meeting, and the theme is make our community a decent and safe place to live. So I wanted to mention that, and again, that's at 2600 Plank Road in Baton Rouge. It starts at 7:30, and I would be remiss if I didn't make sure that I mentioned it and made sure that it got out there to the viewing and listening audience, man.
And that's
but you
today,
doing an out.
Is that today?
Say again?
Is that right now, happening now? Today?
No. My apologies.
Yeah.
It is tomorrow night, Monday night at 7:30 at 2600 Plank Road in Baton Rouge is where the nearest location where you can actually get this. Yeah. The Honorable Louis Farrakhan will be present. Understand this, that the minister is 92. His wife will turn 90 November the 29th. Okay? This has been a long and continues to be a long struggle, but it is the most worthy of all struggles, which is justice for our people, freedom and self-determination for our people. It is a long, hard struggle, but once we win it, it will be a permanent victory for us, a permanent victory for our people. You know that the enemy is trying to control Venezuela. He's trying to control Russia. He's trying to control Burkina Faso. He's trying to control Sudan. All of this is to prop up white supremacy and to make sure that they can extract resources and give the people nothing in return. They've raped Africa. They want to continue to do so. They want to rape Venezuela. They want to continue to do all these things. They want to rape the Sudan. They want to rape the Congo. And so this justice, this fight for justice, brother, is a worldwide phenomenon where the same enemy is using the same tactics to manipulate, to kill, to do whatever they can. So we as conscious people have to be aware of that, and we have to continue to sound the alarm. because a lot of our people go to sleep. But if we love them, we have to continue to awaken them. And there are signs that our people are awakening. This particular vote in the East Baton Rouge Parish was a sign that black people are no longer responding to the Negro imps that are put before them. We're able to see them for what they are, which is hirelings for the enemy. And I'm very pleased that some progress is being made in the way of waking our people up, man. Love y'all, man. Love what we are doing as a community. We just need to continue to do it. And assalamu alaikum to everybody and to our beloved producer, Sister Khadija. Assalamu alaikum, and thank you for your time.
And thank you so much, good brother. Thank you. There you go. You just heard from Brother Darrell Muhammad. Yes, there was an election yesterday. Anybody know about the other bills that were voted on? I think I saw something about some type of tax, and people voted it down, and some people in law enforcement are mad about it. I'm gonna try to pull it up in a second, but I was reading this article in the Louisiana Illuminator where it said an exonerated prison lawyer wins the Orleans clerk of court election. Calvin Duncan faced threats of legal action from AG Liz Morrell over his campaign ads. Wow. She want to take her ball and go home like all supremacists do. Let me get this caller. Caller, welcome to...
Yeah.
Welcome. How you doing, caller?
Yeah, all right. Let me not make Sister Khadija mad. I don't know if that was her AI talking, but look, we are winning. We are winning.
Yeah.
You know, this white supremacy is starting to fight each other. Mm-hmm. You see, when black people don't participate in their voting scam, they start to fight each other because they cannot manipulate us or control us. But look, I want to elaborate and commentate on that video, that first video you showed with the Lafayette police again.
Yes. Yes.
We still haven't got justice for Trayford Pellerin.
Right.
We still haven't got justice for the black officer that they shot, that they're blaming on this young man from Generac.
Swept it under the rug, completely under the rug.
Well, we allowed them to sweep it under the rug with our black politicians who just dared to put their black face in spaces that they shouldn't belong because they're not fighting for us, they're fighting for them and their family. But, you know, you talk about that game. You know, this is America. It's not that they believe they are above the law. Mm-hmm. It's about us being tortured by them, so that way we stay with fear. Like whenever we have fun or get excited, it makes them embarrassed of themselves. So they got to show off that they're a cop with their little badges. Mm-hmm. And as long as we allow these people to do that to us, they're going to keep doing it. You know, I keep saying we some gullible people, and it's time for us to wake up and stop trying to be the bigger person. That's our biggest problem. We always feel we got to be bigger than them. We are bigger than them. But we letting them feel they're bigger than us because they're carrying a badge. That badge doesn't mean nothing if they're violating your rights. Mm-hmm. This is the problem with us. We don't believe in going and fight them without involving these black politicians who come there and compromise. I remember with the Ronald Green case, Vincent Pierre and all these so-called black caucuses, they the one diluted the case for Mr. Green. And yet still what we do, we still look at these Negroes as they are somebody. No, they are put there in that place to make sure they try to control us, the people. This is why Jeff Landry is taking their district away that they gave them for Cleo Fields to come sell us out again. So until we wake up and go get political advice on we need to get out of this and let these white people fight, they want power. We want our lives. Our lives mean more than their power over us. And to all those black people who always say we got to go vote for our rights, that's a lie again. Every day we wake up, we are free. We're just in a system that we refuse to give us our freedom. So keep saying what you're saying because, yes, the fight is eternal, but it's with us. Mm-hmm. We don't realize these people are our enemies, but they make us believe we are our own enemies. Because I know they're going to have some people call after I hang up this phone saying, You can't say that, yes, I can, because I'm free. This is what free people do.
Yes.
Use their freedom of speech, and I got constitutional rights. Even though I don't vote, I pay taxes. Now, if they stop letting me pay taxes, I'll stop going against the voting. Yes, Thank y'all, and y'all have a good weekend.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yeah, you could catch Mr. Kevin every Thursday at 5:30 here on AOC Community Media. Speaking of election, I mean, again, there was some type of election on yesterday. I really didn't pay attention to it. But I'm hearing some disgruntled law enforcement people because the people voted some of the taxes down. Getting back to the article again, Calvin Duncan faced threats of illegal action from AG, Attorney General Liz Murrell, over his campaign ad. Calvin Duncan, who was wrongfully convicted of murder 40 years ago and sentenced to life and in prison, was elected clerk of Orleans Parish Criminal Court on Saturday, handily defeating established incumbent Darren Lombard. Duncan claimed 68% of the vote, with all precincts reporting in their results. Turnout for the election was just a 21.5%. The campaign between Democrats saw Republican State Attorney General Liz Murrell challenge Duncan's claim that he has been exonerated. She sent him a letter before the October primary election saying he needed to cease representing to the public that he was exonerated to avoid further action from his office. Now, isn't that like MAGA type people? They don't want to see you have no life, no fun, no enjoyment, nothing. Just completely shut you down because your existence as a black, and he's a black man, your existence as a black person is a threat to their existence in their mind. Because this man exists, this man is a viable human being. She says she wants to investigate him or file sanction him. Liz Murrell, people, is the Louisiana Attorney General that supports blowing up these people you see in these Trump videos on TV, where these people in these boats are going back and forth, and they are got the United States military blowing them completely out of the water. Liz Murrell did a post saying that she supports what Trump administration is doing by they call it extrajudicial killing of people, murder. So that tells you what type of person. Liz Murrell is what, from Lafayette, or she was from New Orleans and moved to Lafayette. We have natural born people who would kill you at the drop of a hat, but smile in your face and say, we want to pass a good time down at the Cajun Fado. This is what's going on, people. And people should take notice that when you have people like Liz Murrell who won't even let a black man who basically overcame a wrongness even let him rest and become somebody in life. But that's okay. As long as we know who they are, know who your ops are, young people. Stop killing each other. Know who your ops are. That's an interesting article. Go and check out the Louisiana Illuminator. But again, there was an election on yesterday, and a lot of the stuff was voted down. People do not want to be paying taxes and so forth. I want to go on and play this other clip if I could find it. And before we go into some other stuff I got, about a black professional who was profiled, and this is actually normal activity with these law enforcement officers in a lot of the jurisdiction. So people, check it out.
Cars, you match the description.
I literally just walked out of the store. I can show you my receipt.
A receipt proves nothing. Don't reach for anything.
How am I supposed to show you
You're being
registration?
uncooperative. I might need backup.
For a federal prosecutor putting food in his own...
Officer Nathan Cross had been with the Atlanta Police Department for 18 years, but those 18 years told a story his supervisors should have stopped reading years ago. 22 complaints in 18 years, 19 of them involving stops of black professionals in affluent areas. A pattern so clear it should have ended his career a decade earlier. An architect leaving his office building in Buckhead, detained for 40 minutes. A pediatrician grocery shopping in Virginia Highland, searched in the parking lot. A college professor walking his dog in Morningside questioned about residential burglary. Each complaint ended the same way: mandatory retraining that Cross attended but never applied. One Saturday afternoon in Atlanta, his 2 decades of seeing criminality and successful black people collided with someone whose daily job involved prosecuting criminals, and that collision would finally end Cross's career, cost the city $4,200,000, and expose a department that had tolerated his pattern for nearly 2 decades. A black man in his mid-50s, James Mitchell, was standing in a Whole Foods parking lot loading reusable grocery bags into the trunk of his BMW, his phone tucked in his pocket, completely absorbed in the mundane task of organizing his weekly shopping. No crime, no violation, no suspicious behavior, just a man putting groceries in his car on a Saturday afternoon. But Officer Cross saw him through a lens warped by 18 years of unchecked bias. Couldn't process that a black man with an expensive car might have purchased it legitimately, and couldn't imagine that the person he was about to confront had spent 15 years prosecuting the exact kind of unlawful stops Cross specialized in making. Before we continue, where are you watching from? If this is your first time here, please hit that subscribe button. Stories like these need to be shared, and your support helps us bring more truth to light. Atlanta, Georgia, Virginia Highland neighborhood, an upscale area known for tree-lined streets, historic bungalows, trendy restaurants, and the kind of grocery stores where organic produce costs more than most people's car payments. The Whole Foods on North Highland Avenue serves a diverse but predominantly affluent customer base. People who shop for specialty cheeses and imported wines, who can afford the premium prices for sustainable and locally sourced products. It was 2:45 on a Saturday afternoon in June. The parking lot was busy but not packed. The post-lunch shopping crowd mixed with people running weekend errands. The temperature hovered around 88 degrees, typical Atlanta summer heat that made the air conditioning inside stores feel like a sanctuary and made loading groceries into hot cars an exercise in speed. James Mitchell had been a federal prosecutor with the Northern District of Georgia for 15 years. 15 years handling cases ranging from white-collar fraud to civil rights violations to public corruption. He'd prosecuted gang members and corporate executives with equal effectiveness. He'd argued before the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals. He'd trained younger prosecutors. His conviction rate was among the highest in the office. His colleagues called him meticulous. His supervisors called him relentless. Defense attorneys called him formidable. James had graduated from Howard University, then Emory Law School, where he'd been on law review. He'd clerked for a federal judge, worked briefly at a private firm, then joined the U.S. Attorney's Office, where he'd found his calling. He believed in the system. He believed in justice. He believed that law enforcement, when done properly, protected communities and upheld rights. But he also knew, from both professional experience and personal reality, that law enforcement was often done improperly. He'd prosecuted officers for civil rights violations. He'd reviewed cases where police had fabricated probable cause. He'd seen body camera footage of stops that never should have happened. He knew the law. He knew his rights, and he knew that being a federal prosecutor didn't make him immune to being profiled. That Saturday afternoon, James had driven to Whole Foods to do his weekly grocery shopping. Nothing unusual, nothing exciting, just the routine weekend task of stocking his refrigerator. He'd parked his BMW in a spot near the entrance, grabbed a cart, spent 40 minutes inside selecting produce, meat, pantry items, the normal groceries a single professional needs for the week. He'd paid, loaded the bags into his cart, and wheeled everything out to his car. He'd popped the trunk, started transferring the reusable bags from the cart to the cargo area, organizing them so nothing would shift during the drive home. His car was a 3-year-old BMW 5 Series, nice but not ostentatious, well-maintained, registered in his name, insured, completely legal. He was doing exactly what thousands of people do in grocery store parking lots every single day. Loading food into a car, nothing suspicious. Nothing unusual, nothing that should attract attention. But Officer Nathan Cross, 18 years on the Atlanta PD with 22 complaints documenting his pattern of profiling, saw something different. Cross had been with Atlanta PD since his early 20s. He'd worked various assignments over the years, but spent the last 12 years on patrol in affluent neighborhoods, Buckhead, Virginia Highland, Morningside, areas where property values were high and residents expected visible police presence. His supervisors kept him in these assignments despite his complaint history because, in their words, he was effective at maintaining low crime statistics. What they meant was that Cross stopped a lot of people, questioned a lot of people, ran IDs on a lot of people, and created the appearance of active policing whether or not actual crimes were being prevented. 22 complaints in 18 years, 19 involving black professionals in upscale areas. The pattern was unmistakable. A man in a suit leaving a law office. Cross stopped him, demanded ID, suggested he didn't look like he belonged in that building. The man was a partner at the firm. Complaint filed, closed with diversity training requirement. A woman shopping at Lenox Mall. Cross followed her through 3 stores, then stopped her in the parking lot, demanding to search her bags. She was a Spelman professor with receipts for everything. Complaint filed. Resolved with implicit bias workshop. A man jogging in Piedmont Park. Cross detained him, ran his ID, questioned why he was in that neighborhood. The man lived 2 blocks away in a house he'd owned for a decade. Complaint filed. Dismissed with community relations seminar. Every complaint told the same story. Cross saw black people in affluent contexts and couldn't accept their legitimacy. He assumed theft, trespassing, suspicion. He demanded proof of belonging. And when complaints were filed, the department responded with training certificates instead of discipline. Internal Affairs had a file on Cross that should have resulted in termination years ago. But Cross had allies in the department, supervisors who valued his arrest numbers, union representatives who protected him, and a system that prioritized officer retention over accountability. That afternoon, Cross was on patrol in Virginia Highland when dispatch mentioned a call about a suspicious person in the Whole Foods parking lot. The caller had reported seeing someone who looked like they were checking car door handles. Black male, mid-50s, nice car. The caller wasn't sure if anything was happening but wanted police to check. Cross responded immediately. This was his specialty, proactive intervention, stopping crime before it happened. He pulled into the Whole Foods lot and scanned for the description. Black male, nice car. And there, near the entrance, a black man loading things into the trunk of a BMW. Cross's mind made the calculation it always made. Expensive car, black driver, must be stolen, must be something wrong, can't be legitimate. He didn't consider that the man might own the car. He didn't notice the Whole Foods bags that clearly indicated recent shopping. He didn't observe the calm, unhurried movements of someone doing a routine task. He saw what his biases trained him to see, a black man who didn't belong with that car in this neighborhood. Cross pulled his patrol car directly behind the BMW, blocking it in. Do you think prosecutors and other legal professionals are profiled as often as everyone else? Drop your answer below. James noticed the patrol car in his rearview mirror before he heard the voice. He was placing the last bag in his trunk when he saw the lights activate. His stomach tightened. He'd prosecuted enough cases to know exactly what was happening. He was being profiled in a Whole Foods parking lot. Sir, step away from that vehicle. James straightened up and turned around slowly, his hands visible. This is my car. I'm just loading my groceries. Cross stepped out of his patrol car, his hand resting on his service weapon. I got a call about someone breaking into cars in this lot. You matched the description. James felt anger rise but kept his voice controlled. Breaking into cars? Officer, I just came out of the store. I have groceries. My receipt's right here. He gestured toward a bag where the receipt was visible, stapled to the top. Anyone can get a receipt. Whose car is this? It's mine. I own it. The registration is in the glove box. Cross stepped closer. Keep your hands where I can see them. Don't reach for anything. James spread his hands slightly, the absurdity of the situation hitting him. How am I supposed to show you registration if I can't reach for it? You're being difficult. I need backup here. James's professional experience kicked in. He knew what was happening. He knew his rights, and he knew this stop was unlawful. Difficult? Officer, I'm a federal prosecutor. I work for the U.S. Attorney's Office. I'm loading groceries into my own car. There's no crime here, no probable cause, no reasonable suspicion. What you're doing right now is an unlawful stop.
There you go, people. I know it's a pretty long video, and I don't want to take up most of the time in the community defender. I just want to bring that out, that even professionals are getting stopped and getting profiled. Most of the time, these stops are really illegal, because in light of what and this was Atlanta police officer stopping a federal prosecutor. Now you can see the story online on YouTube if you want to Google it to finish looking at it. And again, I'm sorry I ran a little bit over the time allotted. I was supposed to have it on, but I just want to give you the crux of what was happening. I'm reading the article in also in the Louisiana Illuminator, where right now we people have to deal with ICE. And right now, it might not be a problem in the black community on that level. A lot of lies, and this is an openly racist group of law enforcement people that they're hiring, and they openly are corrupt because they're lying about when they arrest you, they'll put out a statement and say you did something, and you did this, and you did that. But I'm seeing more and more they are inching into our area in South Louisiana. Now, I know right now and I'm gonna bring this up, and some people don't like to talk about it. It's the sugarcane harvesting time in South Louisiana, where we have a number of Hispanic and migrant workers. And people would say, well, no, they're not going to arrest these people because I think these people are legally here with their green cards and their work permits and other situations. But I could tell you they're not. In other places, they're arresting everybody. Everybody is being swept up. Let me get this call. Caller, welcome to the Community Defender.
Yes, Brother G. You're touching all the pointers. I'm so sorry I couldn't be there, but I just wanted to mention how powerful those stories are, and they're all real stories. You know, when you think about Liz Morrell, Jeff Landry, Tommy Romero, Louis Ackle, Bo Dewey, Robbie Vines, you have all of these corrupt individuals that have continuously terrorized our community. I have no respect for them whatsoever. I don't understand why all of them is not incarcerated for the thieving, the stealing that they've done beforehand. And people, you've got to be careful when you're driving in New Iberia and Lafayette. Do the speed limit. Have your insurance card. Have your registration. Make sure you don't have no busted lights or anything like that, because that gives them probable cause. Particularly if you're a black male or female. Those are some of the greatest things that we have to watch out for ourselves and for our children and our grandchildren. Please be careful with that. And Brother Jay, I know you remember at one time, I know we attended a few of those meetings that Louis Ackle was having, and it stated automatically the insurance company refused to give insurance to Louis Ackle, to the city of Iberia Parish, because of these unlawful arrests, killings, and everything like that. So even though he's retired and enjoying taxpayers' money off of his fat tail, you know, they still is no good. You even have them wanting to do leaving a Bo Dewey legacy, who was a racist animal. Bo Dewey, who was a racist animal, who should be, I mean, most likely he's in hell by now. But at the same time, you have to remember what they continuously do to our people. Judge Laurie Landry should have won that case. She would have won that case. But because she decided to, can we all just get along? You know, Bo Dewey was able to walk out with a big smile saying that, you know, we've come to a compromise. But yet behind closed doors and behind other evidence, you was calling her a black B-I-T-C-H, bald B-I-T-C-H, doing all of that. And yet he still get a chance to leave a legacy for his family and what they've done. And, you know, like Tommy Romero, you know, another no good sheriff that we have right there in New Iberia. And we could go on with a list. But because we have a time limit and because you have other things and other calls, I'll just bring it up on our next program. Thank you so much.
Yes. Yes. Thank you so much, sister. Yeah, certainly. And time is winding down, and I want to just read this short clip, this short piece right here. And we know ISIS actually just say turning they focus on to inner cities, communities where you have more and more black and brown people, and they're doing other things than arresting immigrants or migrants or people who they think is illegal. They're actually stopping black folks, asking them for their papers. It's almost like Nazi Germany in the sense in other parts of the country. Now, this hasn't trickled down to South Louisiana yet. But then again, we have some corrupt stuff going on along with racism, because if Jeff Landry can call up ICE and say, do not come to Iberia Parish, St. Martin Parish, Lafayette Parish, or anywhere down Highway 90 and arrest these people who are driving these sugarcane trucks, because my supporters who are sugarcane farmers and sugarcane corporation and sugar refinery corporation going to get so upset that they go pull their support and turn their support to the other side. So you see what's happening? This is almost insulting, because they're claiming other parts of the country that we're going to target people when we want, how we want, and whatever we want, just in the name of corruption and racism. And people don't see through that. That's what's happening here in South Louisiana. They're not going after the migrants and the brown people who driving these trucks right now on the highway. Tom Holman, Christy Nome, Pam Blondie, y'all not targeting these people, because you know damn well if you target these people with ICE, these sugar companies going to take their support from you, because they're making money and they're funneling it up to those corrupt MAGA types. So pay attention to what's going on, people. Let me get this caller before we got 3 minutes left. Let me get this caller. Welcome, caller. Go ahead, caller.
Good evening, Brother Jay.
How you doing, brother?
Good evening, Brother Jay. Oh, great. Hey, man, you're doing a wonderful job taking Brother Darrell's place on the community defender tonight.
I was hoping I could feel the shoes of Brother Darrell Muhammad. There's no other like that. I could never feel his shoes.
Well, you're not filling his shoes, but you're just doing a great job.
Yeah.
You understand me, taking this show to the next level because of his misfortune that is happening to him, right now.
Yeah.
Brother Jay, everything that you're talking about, you're exactly right. We have these ISIS people, as far as I'm concerned, they're Klan people. They just changed their name. They're putting masks on their face.
Right.
They're going around into different communities or different section of town and taking these people off the street. They don't care how they do it. They got some officers doing the same thing. Some of them using it legit. Some of them deserve what they get now. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But it's not everybody that deserve what ISIS is doing, and they only do it to certain people. Like you say, the sugarcane industry, they're not touching them. Some of these sugarcane drivers, they are driving faster than normal. They constantly convoying down our highways, and things like this here. Well, if you're not going to mess with the sugarcane industry, quit messing with everybody. Because everybody is not working for the sugarcane. Right. You have a lot of these Spanish people scared to go to work, They constantly looking around, to see who's around them and things like this here. So, we got a lot, we got a lot going on. We need to teach our people our history, but the history of what's really going on with us. Because we was taught false history. We was given paganism, and once we got it, seems like we don't know how to let it go.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Brother Jay.
Thank you so much.
You're doing a great job, man.
All right.
I'm glad you're my friend.
All right.
All
Thank
right,
you.
my brother.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Peace out.
All right. We're going to see you next week on another edition of Community Defender. Not next week, but in 2 weeks. Brother Darryl Muhammad should be back. Should be back, people. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you.